My soul needed a savage friend, a weird daredevil, but do you mend? My life became a dead end. Big C got me on the wrong track. Fought the cancer in a cul-de-sac. Lean says bite back. On life's jacked racetrack we react. Lacking the cool, but we lean and we loo.
안녕하세요. 저는 루입니다. I'm Loo.
안녕하세요. 저는 레안입니다. I'm Lean. Loo is this close to getting whoosh to the throat. I'll come and stand beside you and whoosh.
The amount of unaliving discussions we've had on all our videos we've done today, they're all going to get banned from YouTube. I'm telling you.
Probably. It's okay. It's fine.
It's that one there. It's the savage. It's the savage.
Squeeze me. I am the nicest person on the planet. I don't know what you're talking about.
She is actually really nice because it's my birthday tomorrow, and she sent me a gift and it's in the mailbox, but we've had a blizzard and now like there's major amounts of snow. So
did you hear that? I sent her a gift and she has not gone outside to go and get it from the mailbox because of a little
want to ruin
snow.
my hair.
A little bit of snow.
My hair's really curly. I should have got it now when we had lunch. I should have gone and got it. So
you should have. You should have crawled on hands and knees and barefoot.
Through the blizzard to get it.
And open the box with your teeth.
If you don't believe me, look there. There's the snow. Can you see the snow? Well, now the blizzard stopped, but we're filming now. So.
Girl, I'm Scottish. That's summer for me. I'd be out there in my sandals. Blizzard.
A little braggy Scottish lass.
I didn't get this tough because of sunny days and not going outside to my mailbox.
My mailbox is 2 blocks away. I have to walk 2 blocks to my mailbox.
That means nothing to me. There's no such thing as a block in Scotland. What even is that? Is that like a street?
It's a whole like street between 2 streets. You'd like walk a block, and then like from one street to the other. You're like a block of houses.
So it's a street away.
So it's 2 streets away. That's where my mailbox is.
You just make things sound bigger than they are. It's only 2 streets, for God's sake. How many houses are in a street? Is that like the width of one house or 2?
Like 5, 6, 7 houses.
Yeah, but aren't you walking at the ends of them?
I'm walking across 2 streets.
So you're walking the length of 2 streets, or you're walking by 2 streets?
Walking by 2 streets. So
that's not even 5 houses. That's just the ends of the houses.
No,
you just make things sound bigger than it is.
No, there's not. There's like 10 houses between the streets. So like I got to go from one street past.
Why on earth did they put your mailbox that far away? What the hell? That system is faked.
It is. I'm in a condo section. So
are you jealous? Do you know what the UK system is? They put that crap through your front door in the letterbox. And if it's too big, they knock on your door and they hand it to you.
I know.
That's how it should be.
I'm in America. Okay, let's get started because we're busy chatting instead of doing our thing. We are doing Spring Day today, woohoo, which we have delayed for a bit.
Which is clearly not today because you've got snow and I've got snow.
It's not Spring Day. But like we were supposed to do it when Lean had COVID and we didn't do it then. And then we delayed it. So we're doing it today. So we're going to look at the Italian video for Spring Day explanation. We're first going to look at the MV for Spring Day. And Lean can try and decipher what she thinks it means.
Why does BTS songs always work for Lean? It's not, here, enjoy this song. It's right. Get your notepad out, pay attention, take notes. I want an essay by the end and I will be marking you.
In all fairness, you will not get the meaning of the. I mean, I think you already know it's linked to the ferry disaster, so you know that because that's.
I don't even know what ferry disaster you're talking about.
Okay. Oh, good. Okay. So she knows nothing. Okay.
I know nothing until you said that sentence. I didn't even know it was linked to anything about ferries.
She's a Spring Day virgin. Okay, so just watch it because you're not going to get the meaning of it, and then we'll watch the meaning of it. Okay, there's no pressure for this one. So
good, because Lean knows nothing. She's uneducated.
Enjoy the melody of it more than anything else, because the lyrics will be explained to you. So
okay,
let's
do it. Ready?
I'm ready.
Germany, they have snow too, so maybe it is spring day.
보고 싶다 이렇게 말하니까 더 보고 싶다 널 사진해보고 있어도 보고 싶다 너무 약속한 시간 나는 우리 꿈이다 이제 얼굴 한번 보는 것조차 힘들어진 우리가 여긴 온통 겨울뿐이야 8월에도 겨울이 와 마음은 시간에 달려가네 홀로 남은 설국 열차 네 손잡고 지구 반대편까지야 겨울을 끝내봐 그리움들이 얼마나 눈치를 내려야 그 봄날이 올까
거울을 떠드는 작은 먼지처럼 작은 먼지처럼
날리는 눈이 나라면 조금 더 빨리 내겐 닿을 수 있을 텐데
난 꽃이 떨어져요 또 조금씩
Okay, pause.
멀어져요 보고 싶다
Can I just say they're all looking exceptionally fine in this video? And I recognise Jimin in his wee stripey at the ocean. I've seen the behind the scenes of him on the beach.
Yeah, he's
that
got
you
his little
probably
stripe.
sent me.
Probably a clip from one of those. Yeah, he's got his little stripe thing on. Yeah, they are. And like, so of the song itself, what are you getting from it so far?
It's about people that have been separated in some way by long distance and or death, and can't be together. In fact, they said falling as the snow would get me to you faster. It's like an impossible distance between them. For some reason, that's what
like
came
it.
out getting. It's missing someone or missing people
Yes, you're on the right track for sure.
easily.
It's so good.
I'm guessing by the snow lyrics, so it is about people that have passed on rather than just separated by distance.
Yeah, totally. That is exactly it. You're very fast on the draw. Okay.
Well, it's my job, girl.
Okay.
Okay, ready?
Ready.
보고 싶다 보고 싶다 보고 싶다 얼마나 기다려야 분명 밤을 거슬러 널 보게 될까 널 보게 될까 만나게 될까 만나게 될까 숨겨올 끝을 신나 다시 봄날이 올 때까지 봄이 올 때까지 그곳에 좀 더 머물러서
I'm also kind of getting the reference spring and winter is like life and what comes after. So like the dark sadness of going through that grief, and then spring is like when you get to see them again. It's maybe when you two go on to the other side and are reunited.
Yeah.
So it feels like a new beginning, like a second life because you're reunited with the people you've lost.
Yeah, exactly. That is 100% right.
Yeah, see? I'm a poet and I didn't know it.
Look at Jin's skin there on a side note. Look how
I was
beautiful.
thinking they're all looking really flawless and smooth and baby skinned and like they're all looking very soft. Whoever was the director, they've definitely used soft filters to make this whole thing feel very like warm and cozy but like emotive.
So just a side note, this is the most, I would say, famous BTS song in Korea, and it has a special place everywhere globally, but this song like has created so much, not hype, it has a lot of meaning, and you'll understand why, but it's like a symbol now in Korea almost. It's like a very symbolic thing. So
Okay.
네가 변한 건지 아니면 내가 변한 건지 이 순간 흐르는 시간조차 미워 우리가 변한 거지 뭐 모두가 그런 거지 뭐 그래 네가 난 떠났지만 단 하루도 널 잊은 적이 없었지 나 솔직히 보고 싶은데 이만 너를 지우게 그게 널 원망하기보단 덜 아프니까
널 풀어내본다
I totally forgot how much I miss Sugar's voice, but I noticed the big pile of clothes that is mirrored in the IU video. Also, are all those clothes supposed to resemble the people that have passed on? And I really like Sugar's lyrics about hating someone and being angry at them. That's very much a thing that happens after death with the people that survive or that get left behind. You blame them and you're like angry that they allowed themselves to be taken from you. Like it's very...
Yes, that is exactly what it is. And yes, the clothes do represent people that have been lost. So
Okay.
연기처럼 이게 연기처럼 말로는 쉬운다 해도 사실 난 아직 날 보내지 못하는데 난 꽃이 떨어져요 또 조금씩 멀어져요 보고 싶다 보고 싶다 보고 싶다 보고 싶다 얼마나 기다려라 몇 밤을 더 세워라 널 보게 될까 널 보게 될까 만나게 될까 만나게 될까 너 위로 my best friend 아침은 다시 올 거야 어떤 너
Is the train supposed to be the underworld thing, the train to the next life? You know, like Anubis walks on through the path. Is the train supposed to represent that?
that actually is one of the meanings of this, is that you're so fast. Sorry, you are. It is
I was
actually-
surprised by this.
That is actually linked to one of the meanings in one of the explanation videos. I'm not sure if it's the Italian one or the other one, but yes, it's like you're on a different path in a different celestial kind of place.
Your next life.
Yeah.
See? Don't call me fast Rolling for nothing.
This song right in the roundabout, this part here always gets me. I'm like feeling a little emotional, but okay, let's continue.
Ready?
어둠도 어떤 계절도 영원할 순 없을 건지 비나봐요 이 겨울도 끝이 나요 보고 싶다 보고 싶다 보고 싶다 보고 싶다 조금만 기다리면 며칠 밤만
I'm also getting that from the start of this video they were all separate, so they're all clearly being separated from each other, and then this train at the end with them all together being reunited, that's what them coming through the door and all running together was, is now they've all come to the same place in their next life.
Could be. I mean, that is a good interpretation there as well. I also like they repeat it often, the wait just a little bit more and I'll be with you just a few more nights thing. I think like when you lose someone, you want to go to the place that they're at.
Yeah.
And it's really hard. Like it's really hard not to, and to just remain strong and carry on living life. You know, it's really tough.
There's also that fear for those that believe in the afterlife, that the person on the other side, the longer they wait for you, they're not going to wait. They're not going to be there for you to find. They're going to have moved on to another place. There's that fear for people that do believe in that.
Yeah, exactly.
So that whole little bit, just a few more nights, is kind of also for them not to move on away from the place where they're waiting for you.
Yeah, it's a really, really heart-wrenching song.
Right, ready?
Yes.
더 세우면 만나러 갈게 데리러 갈게 추운 겨울 끝을 지나 다시 봄날이 올 때까지 꽃 피울 때까지 그곳에 좀 더 머물러서
Sorry.
See the shoes in the tree? That's something that comes from the people in like my heritage. Shoes in the tree to represent those that have been lost. There's actually trees just filled with shoes down England way, and also I think there's one where my grandparents used to stay. The travellers, Roma, gypsies, they all like do that, or they tie ribbons, and it's to symbolize the people that is like been left behind or like gone on to the other side.
Yeah.
It's a very sad song. It's weird that it doesn't sound like a very sad, emotive like beat, but it does translate as a sad wait for me song.
Yeah, it's true. It has, like, sometimes I'll be listening to Spring Day, like it's like on my playlist in the car, and I'll forget what it's about, and then I suddenly remember what it's about, and I'm like, oh, it's like I get a little bit of a twinge in my chest. But yeah, it is. But when I watch the MV, I always get a little choked up because I kind of know the meaning behind it. But yeah, we're going to explore that. But yeah, it is it's a well thought out, poignant song, you know, that like with a BTS is done really respectfully. That's all I'm going to say about it. But yeah, let's watch the explanation video and you'll understand the implications and the meanings behind every scene as well.
Okay. They're very good at explaining the process of grief, though. The feelings behind it as you go through the 7 steps of grief. It is 7 steps, isn't it?
Yeah, I think there are 5 stages of grief or 7 stages of grief. There might be both. So,
right, ready?
Yeah.
Il video della canzone Spring Day dei BTS.
I'll put it a bit louder. Yeah. You don't need to have
Spring Day
substance
è
there.
uno dei brani
That's
del
as loud as it
repackage album
goes.
Wings
Okay.
You Never Walk Alone. Se fate attenzione potete notare come il logo dell'album sia composto da 4 nastri gialli. Il nastro giallo è un simbolo universale, infatti lo trovate anche fra le emoji di WhatsApp. Può avere vari significati, ma per lo più è associato a coloro che attendono il ritorno di una persona cara. Rientra nella categoria dei nastri della consapevolezza usati per esprimere sostegno a favore di cause e campagne civili. In particolare in Corea del Sud è stato usato come simbolo in memoria delle vittime del naufragio del traghetto Sewol, che avvenne il 16 aprile del 2014 e portò alla morte di 304 persone, la maggior parte delle quali studenti in gita scolastica. I BTS hanno recentemente fatto una donazione ai genitori delle vittime di questa tragedia, ma di questo parleremo più avanti. Ci sarebbe moltissimo da dire sulla questione, in particolare sul comportamento inaccettabile dell'equipaggio della nave e della guardia costiera o sulla corruzione e negligenza del governo e della stampa, ma mi limiterò a riportare le vicende più gravi connessi al video di Spring Day. Osserviamo la scena iniziale del video. Vi si trova in una stazione che in Corea non è più in funzione da molti anni, ma si inginocchia appoggiando le orecchie sulle rotaie per sentire se il treno stia arrivando. Se ascoltiamo bene, però, possiamo sentire il segnale sonoro di una nave. Subito dopo, l'inquadratura segue un treno immaginario su dei binari vuoti. Il treno traghetto non arriverà mai e vi finirà per camminare tristemente in mezzo alle rotaie. Queste scene rappresentano il sentimento dei parenti e degli amici delle vittime, l'aspettarsi di veder comparire da un momento all'altro i propri cari come se nulla fosse successo, ma anche la loro richiesta a lungo inascoltata di riportare a terra il traghetto che si trovava ancora negli abissi assieme ai corpi di 9 dispersi fino a pochi giorni fa. Le prime parole della canzone sono "mi mancate", mentre viene inquadrato il mare e Jimin che lo osserva. Poco dopo lo vediamo trovare delle scarpe sulla spiaggia e notate anche come sono rovinati i vestiti che indossa. La scena fa quindi riferimento agli innuenti delle vittime, sia quelli persi in mare che quelli come le scarpe che vedete lasciati sul molo come tributo nei giorni immediatamente successivi alla tragedia. Da qui arriviamo alla scena nella lavanderia. Jimin si tiene accanto le scarpe come a rappresentare un amico che non c'è più. Se i vestiti simboleggiano le vittime, gli oblò delle lavatrici ricordano quelli di una nave, quindi anche le lavatrici rappresentano il traghetto e i vestiti sono le persone intrappolate all'interno. I cestelli girano capovolgendosi, proprio come accadde al Sewol. Ascoltate cosa dice il testo della canzone in queste scene. si riferisce all'ordine insensato che venne continuamente trasmesso ai passeggeri del Sewol e che fu una delle cause principali della loro morte. Sarebbe bastato saltare in
Pause
mare
for a
per
second.
salvarsi. Solo in questi oblò che poi vengono inquadrati.
What do you think so far? Are you
It's
okay?
very hard to watch, man. Obviously, because I lost my brother to an accident, and I know that feeling of he went to work one day and he just never returned. That feeling of waiting. Like, I didn't go back to Inverness for 10 years because it was easier to think he still lived there than to go back and go to the realization that in his house he wasn't there anymore. So I think that's why it's like, ugh. Because I understand what they're talking about, I understand the feeling, and also the little hints that were in the video towards that tragedy are just so freaking traumatizing. Like, that's like, now you know what's in the video. I don't think I'll ever watch that video again, to be honest.
It's okay though. A lot of people don't. You know, it's like an important step to take through BTS, but it's really hard to. It's really hard. It's a really hard video to watch.
I'm a surprisingly weird person. Once I know something like that about something, it jades it, and like that's all I'll ever feel and remember when I see it. Like, I'm an empath. So those feelings, that's it. I'll never watch this video again.
Yeah, and that's okay. That's okay. There's people that army that feel exactly that way. So, because this is the thing with BTS, they don't just evoke happiness and, you know, good songs. They look at things that society doesn't talk about as much. And this is a very controversial disaster, and you'll see why. And
Yeah.
BTS has the courage to address it, which and to they created Spring Day for the families, you know, for closure in some ways, I think, as well, which is really good. On a side note, the lyrics I see she's put at the top of the video as well. If
I
you
noticed that.
so
Like,
if you
it
go
doesn't
to
let me move it.
so no, I don't mind because I've seen this already. But if you for yourself go to the actual YouTube video and click
Yeah,
on
I've
it,
turned it on. Like, they're at the bottom too. Ready?
okay. Yes.
Da vicino sono stati aggiunti degli adesivi con le istruzioni, dove non a caso l'unica frase leggibile è "Don't forget". Non dimenticare è uno degli slogan più usati per ricordare le tragedie, ma nel caso del naufragio del Sewol è un messaggio particolarmente significativo, perché alle famiglie delle vittime e ai ragazzi sopravvissuti fu più volte ripetuto di accettare e dimenticare l'accaduto. Guardate ora questa foto. Ritrae uno dei sommozzatori incaricato di recuperare i corpi delle vittime dentro la camera di decompressione. L'oblò non vi ricorda qualcosa? E quest'altra scena in cui Jin inserisce la moneta per far partire la lavatrice si riferisce chiaramente agli interessi economici e alla corruzione che sono stati la reale causa dell'incidente. Per farvi capire questa e le scene successive, devo fare una breve pausa e spiegare alcune dinamiche della tragedia. Il naufragio del Sewol fu causato dal peso eccessivo dovuto a delle modifiche illegali effettuate alla nave, che però aveva comunque ottenuto una licenza di circolazione. Alcuni membri del governo furono accusati di avere interessi finanziari nella società proprietaria del traghetto, ma le indagini furono portate avanti in modo poco trasparente e alla fine molti dei reali responsabili rimasero impuniti. Alcune delle responsabilità più gravi pesano sulla guardia costiera. Giunta sul luogo dell'incidente, dopo aver recuperato quelli che per legge avrebbero dovuto mettere in sicurezza i passeggeri, e cioè equipaggio e capitano, si premurò soltanto di impedire alle imbarcazioni civili accorse in aiuto di avvicinarsi.
아까 낮에도 자기네들이 유리창이라도 깨가지고 한 사람이라도 구하려고 그랬더니 경찰이 못 깨겠다는 거예요, 그거를.
Nessuno dei soccorritori si introdusse nella nave o ruppe le finestre per liberare chi era intrappolato dentro. Alla fine la maggioranza dei sopravvissuti fu salvata dai pescherecci che riuscirono ad avvicinarsi. E intanto la nave continuava ad affondare, fino a che poche ore dopo divenne impossibile recuperare i passeggeri senza attrezzature per l'immersione. Nonostante ciò, la stampa, manipolata dal governo che non voleva perdere consensi elettorali, riportava alla nazione rassicuranti notizie false.
기결 시도 중이다. 이렇게 된 보도가 나가고 있는데요. 이게 사실이 아니라면서요? 네.
I pochi giornalisti che si recarono sul posto furono licenziati e subirono pressioni e censure da parte del governo. In queste immagini si vede chiaramente come la guardia costiera abbia ostacolato e addirittura sabotato le operazioni di recupero di volontari
이게
esperti.
이렇게 됐는데 이게 저게 된 게 아닌 것 같아. 자른 거지.
뭐 지금 이유야 뭐 기상 악화로 뭐 안전을 위한다고 그러지만 충분히 들어가려면 들어갈 수가 있거든요.
민간인들은 들어간대. 근데 경찰은 못 들어간대. 아무것도 하는 게 없어요.
Potete quindi immaginare la rabbia, la frustrazione e il senso di impotenza dei genitori accorsi sul posto, sapendo che i loro figli, forse ancora vivi grazie alle sacche d'aria,
Imagine being standing there knowing your kid's still in a sinking ship and watching the authorities do nothing and block people try to like save them.
It's horrific. Like, it's horrific.
See, that was like a nice sounding song, and now it's a freaking horrendous song to me. I don't think I can even listen to the song ever again.
You know what it is the tragedy was horrific. What the government did was horrific, and they were trying to silence it. And then BTS came out with a song to highlight it and to say, never forget in a way so that it never happens again. So I think that, like, not just BTS, there was a whole lot of awareness in communities and projects, but this was one of the big things that has left a indelible mark, I think, on Korean society. It's similar to that stampede that they had a few years, was it last year or the year before for Halloween? In that
we were supposed to be there at that very moment. We would have been in Korea and probably there at that place because we're tourists and it's what we would have done.
We would have, yeah. And so, like, those two tragedies are things where, like, things had to be changed, like, I think in so many different levels. I think the bravery and the fact that BTS wasn't just stepping back and not saying anything like everybody else in the entertainment industry. Instead, they decided we're going to make a song about this because we don't want people ever to forget not only the victims and the victims' families, but we don't want them to forget how this happened more specifically. Like, how did we get to this point, you know?
This is so hard to watch. I can't even imagine living through it.
Yeah, it is really hard. And, like, I've hesitated in showing this to you because I knew that this is going to, like, hit you hard emotionally, like it does for a lot of people. But yeah, it's interesting to, like, see how it was handled and how it was carried forth after, you know, by people like BTS and people who actually cared and really wanted to, like, never forget, you know. So it's like a monument. I feel like the song Spring Day is like a monument that's been built to the victims in a way, like a lyrical monument.
It definitely is, even though people like me cannot bear to ever listen to it ever again. Yeah, I'm too much, like, I'm a weird person. I carry emotions like this in relation to stuff, so feeling the amount of tragedy and horror at this video will now forever be attached to that song. Yeah. So I would feel it every time I listen to it. And I just don't do being upset very well, so just avoid it for life.
Just avoid it. It is, though, like, that's the thing, is like there's a tragedy attached to the song. Which makes the song beautiful, but also makes the song difficult for a lot of people to listen to. So
yeah, I just keep thinking of the mirror in circumstance. Like, the reason my brother died was because of negligence and the companies involved, and I had to go to court and stuff it went on for like 5 years over my brother's death before we finally got the ruling of what happened and payouts. Like, it went on for a long time and it was handled in a really horrible way. And the companies involved, his wife actually worked for the company that caused his death. So it was a very, like, messy thing. Yeah. And this is just, I don't know why it's bringing that, like, feelings of similarity, because it's a completely different disaster, but I can totally sympathize and relate to the people in this video. Yeah. They can, knowing that their loved ones could still be alive, literal, like, feet away from them, and there's nothing they could do. My brother-in-law was actually in the traffic in the queue caused by my brother's accident. And the police actually had to find his car and tell him, like, they had been given his number plate to send him home because his own brother-in-law was in the accident ahead of him. Oh. And he wasn't allowed to stay. He had to go home. So he wasn't allowed to even go and find out, like, what was happening or if my brother was going to be pulled out. He was sent off the scene.
Oh, it's so sad. That's so sad.
Okay, ready.
Yeah.
stavano morendo a causa dell'inspiegabile mancanza di azione di chi doveva salvarli. Ritorniamo adesso alla scena nella lavanderia, dove l'orologio segna le 9:35. Tra le 9:30 e le 9:45 le apparecchiature di comunicazione del Sewol smisero di funzionare e l'equipaggio fu tratto in salvo mentre i passeggeri venivano abbandonati al loro destino. Poi compare Suga, seduto su una pila di vestiti che è praticamente identica all'installazione Person dell'artista francese Christian Boltanski che state vedendo. Rappresenta le persone che ci hanno lasciati. Nel video i vestiti sono circondati dall'oscurità che ricorda appunto gli abissi del mare. In quest'altra scena possiamo notare attaccati alla giostra decine di nastri gialli. Qui abbiamo un'altra prova di come l'intero video faccia riferimento al naufragio del Sewol, perché nei giorni successivi alla catastrofe tantissimi coreani mostrarono il proprio supporto alle famiglie coinvolte aderendo alla campagna dei nastri gialli. Luoghi e strade della nazione furono colorati di fiocchi giallo speranza. Anche la giostra non è stata inserita a caso. You'll Never Walk Alone è una canzone di scena di un musical di Broadway che si chiama appunto Carosello e viene eseguita in 2 momenti, per confortare la protagonista subito dopo il suicidio del marito, che era appunto un giostraio, e poi come incoraggiamento verso la loro figlia che sta affrontando l'ultimo anno di scuola. Quindi abbiamo di nuovo i temi del lutto e del conforto. Vedete l'albero dentro il cerchio di luci che rappresenta la giostra? Simboleggia la vittima, ma anche il ciclo della vita, e questo ci ricollega anche all'albero della scena finale di Spring Day. E non è tutto. Questa canzone di scena è diventata l'inno ufficiale della squadra di calcio del Liverpool, che
I
mostrò
was
il suo
going to say
sostegno
that.
alla
That's
campagna
our
dei
theme
nastri
tune.
gialli con il tweet che state vedendo. Proprio il giorno prima dell'incidente del Sewol, il Liverpool aveva infatti celebrato l'anniversario di un altro grande disastro e lo aveva fatto come da tradizione, cantando il suo inno You'll Never Walk Alone. Sto parlando della tragedia dello stadio di Hillsborough che provocò la
remember
morte
that.
di 96
Yep.
persone, anche in questo caso molti dei quali ragazzi. Nel 2016 le famiglie delle vittime del Sewol hanno incontrato quelle delle vittime di Hillsborough,
I was
unendosi in una campagna
16.
comune. Questo perché in entrambi i casi la stampa corrotta riportò false notizie e i parenti delle vittime lottarono e lottano ancora per ottenere verità e giustizia.
돈도 필요 없고 보상도 필요 없고 심리치료 다 필요 없거든요. 그것만 해주시면 대한민국의 안전한 주제가 여러분들의 손에 달려있다는 거 그거 하나만 명심해 주시고 제발 도와주시죠.
Da tutto ciò capiamo che la scelta del titolo You Never Walk Alone non è stata affatto casuale. Un altro particolare è lo stato della giostra, arrugginita e rovinata proprio come le lamiere del Sewol sommerso, che è stato recuperato alcuni giorni fa poco dopo la caduta del governo. Oltre a collegarsi al titolo del musical, quindi, anche la giostra rappresenta la nave che trasportava gli studenti. Nelle scene successive del video credo sia stato rappresentato il momento della morte delle vittime. JK sta sognando, infatti indossa vestiti diversi. Corre cercando un'uscita e qualcosa non quadra, tutto trema, le tende svolazzano. Dopo aver attraversato la lavanderia, che come ho detto
Yeah, that's the bit I
simboleggia il
said. They
innessamento
crossed
della nave,
over
JK incontra gli altri
together.
membri del gruppo, ma qualche istante dopo si rivede dentro al treno traghetto. È come se la sua anima si fosse staccata dal corpo che è ancora lì sul mezzo di trasporto. Se notate, il treno sta attraversando un tunnel, un passaggio che simboleggia appunto il momento del trapasso. La luce diminuisce e vediamo JK e Rap Monster che chiudono gli occhi e abbassano la testa nel tipico atteggiamento del lutto. Il fiammifero si spegne come le vite dei passeggeri del Sewol, ma ecco che si riaccende, compaiono anche gli altri membri e tutti si ritrovano sopra la pila di vestiti che adesso non è più negli abissi dell'oceano, ma raggiunge il cielo dove in genere tendiamo a immaginare le persone che ci hanno lasciati. A questo punto JK si risveglia e tutto il gruppo arriva a destinazione. Questo che state vedendo è un video realizzato in memoria delle vittime del Sewol che mi ha ricordato moltissimo la scena finale. Le scarpe appese ad un albero rappresentano qualcuno morto in circostanze tragiche e la solennità stessa della scena fa pensare che i ragazzi stiano porgendo il loro omaggio davanti a un monumento ai caduti. Ricordate le scarpe e i messaggi che vi ho mostrato? In questa possiamo leggere: Tesoro, un tuo amico ti ha comprato un bellissimo paio di scarpe. La tua mamma, tuo fratello e tua sorella ti stanno aspettando. La scena trasmette un sentimento di memoria, solidarietà e conforto. Del resto l'intero video è studiato per dare questa sensazione. I colori sono tenui ma vividi, i luoghi sono liberi e aperti oppure chiusi ma accoglienti. L'atmosfera ispira una serenità pacata.
The other thing, which I don't know if she mentions in this, but is the reference to Snowpiercer, which is I don't know if you've seen that film. I don't know if it's a K-drama film or I think it's a Western film. It's about a train, like people that live on a train, because the world is like turned to ice and snow, and they know that if they get off the train they'll freeze to death. So they have like a whole city living on a train, and all the train does is just go like around and around like a country or whatever it is. And but on the train they have different classes. So you have like first class, you have the elite that are up front of the train, and then the poor at the very back of the train.
You know what, I think I have seen that. I just didn't know that's what it was called.
Yeah.
A vague because you're talking about it there.
And I think there's some scenes with RM in this where he's running to the front of the train, but he can never quite get there because of the elite that pushes them down. And so it's like there's a political commentary in here about how the corrupt government or whatever it was that was involved in this tragedy is pushing people away from like knowing the truth or pushing them down to the back of the train. So are you okay?
Yeah, I'm just taking it all in. It's like a really hard thing to watch. I hate watching stuff like this. I hate things about tragedy and death. Plus, I'm also have that phobia about the freaking ocean, and they keep on showing the ferry with people in the water, and I keep getting like, oh, please get off the sea.
Yeah, it's so I can't think of anything worse. The problem with this was they had the opportunity to rescue every last child off of this ferry, but the captain and his crew told them to stay in their cabins instead of coming.
That enrages me to that. Like, that's the kind of emotion I cannot contain, kind of rage. Like, the difference between someone being here now and not was down to the freaking stupidity of those people and the negligence of those people. Like, I hope that follows them until they freaking are unalived.
Yeah.
Like that weight of guilt.
Well, and the thing is you, when you're in a society like Korea where you respect your elders and you listen to them, all those kids, teenagers and kids listen to what they were told because that's what they were told to do, you know. So it's very tragic.
It's horrible. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Come la neve, inducendo anche al ricordo di dolci momenti passati, come la scena della festa di compleanno. I momenti che state vedendo adesso rappresentano infatti dei ricordi, perché sia Jin che V li fotografano per poterli riportare alla mente in futuro. L'insegna che vedete fa riferimento a questo libro, che parla di una festa dell'estate nella città utopica di Omelas, dove tutti vivono felici. Questa felicità però ha un prezzo. Un bambino deve vivere segregato in un luogo angusto, da solo e malnutrito, in una condizione che lo porterà presto alla morte. L'insegna in rosso, che significa al completo, ci fa riflettere su come il benessere nella nostra società sia riservato solo ad alcuni. Il significato del racconto di Omelas può essere paragonato a quello del film Snowpiercer, a cui sia il testo che il video di Spring Day fanno riferimento. Lo Snowpiercer è un treno che continua a muoversi attorno alla Terra, colpita da una nuova era glaciale. Tutti gli uomini sopravvissuti si trovano su questo treno, che è diviso in classi sociali. I più ricchi vivono nei vagoni anteriori, mentre i più umili nelle ultime carrozze. I poveri sono continuamente oppressi dai ricchi, che arrivano a rapire alcuni dei loro bambini, e per questo organizzano una rivolta con lo scopo di arrivare alla testa del treno e prenderne possesso. Ma una volta arrivati scoprono che, per poter funzionare, il motore ha bisogno che dei bambini sufficientemente piccoli si occupino della sua manutenzione in condizioni terribili. Nel video Omelas sembra trovarsi simbolicamente all'interno del treno. Si tratta della rappresentazione dei vagoni riservati ai ricchi, che vivono sulle spalle dei poveri e dei bambini sfruttati. Entrambe le storie sono quindi un'allegoria delle società capitaliste attuali, dove chi ha il potere è disposto a sacrificare degli innocenti per il proprio tornaconto, il che è esattamente quello che è accaduto con l'incidente del Seawall.
뭐라고? 아 시간이 어딨어? 야 지금 시간이 문제야. 가족이 빠져서 그렇게 말해. 빨리 가 빨리. 제발요. 한 사람이라도 살려주세요. 구조를 해야 될 거 아니냐고. 아니 사람이 살아있다고요. 이러라고 이 새끼야. 사람이 살아있다고. 감독이 왔대. 빨리 구해줘 좀.
Dopo la morte di ragazzini innocenti ci fu uno scarico di responsabilità e una ricerca di capri espiatori. E così i volontari accorsi in aiuto divennero responsabili di aver ostacolato operazioni di soccorso inesistenti. Furono inventate condizioni atmosferiche avverse alle immersioni e il governo fece persino in modo che la stampa dipingesse i familiari delle vittime come rivoluzionari affamati di soldi, nel tentativo di manipolare l'opinione pubblica contro di loro. Qui potete vedere come un giornalista stia fingendo di essere pressato dalla calca e come polizia e reporter stiano premendo sui manifestanti del tutto pacifici. La tragedia del Sewol e i nastri gialli sono per questo diventati un simbolo della lotta contro la corruzione del governo coreano. C'è un motivo per cui la Big Hit e BTS hanno scelto di affrontare questi temi proprio adesso. Negli ultimi mesi molti funzionari governativi e collaboratori della presidentessa Park sono stati arrestati per corruzione. La stessa Park è stata interrogata nel dicembre 2016 anche riguardo le sue responsabilità nella tragedia del Sewol e questo 10 marzo è stata destituita dalla sua carica e arrestata. È stata inoltre scoperta l'esistenza di una lista nera governativa contenente i nomi di quasi 10.000 artisti che sono stati discriminati e censurati per aver espresso idee politiche di sinistra o mostrato solidarietà alle famiglie delle vittime del naufragio. Nella lista erano
the level of corruption and the level of blame just to cover up their incompetence.
Yeah.
It's horrible.
It is. And that's why I like that BTS was in a more powerful position in Big Hit to say something, because as they said, there were other artists that tried to speak out against it and they were put on a blacklist, and they couldn't say anything.
10,000. 10,000.
10,000. I just, for me, humans sometimes are so evil. I can't deal with what humans do to other humans and then don't
There
take
were literal
accountability.
children, drowning children. How could the so-called lifeguards, Coast Guard, rescuers sit in their boats and wait and do nothing? What the feck is... I was a volunteer for the RNLI. For those that don't know, that's the Royal National Lifeboat Institute. It's literally the volunteers who go out and will save people who are drowning in the sea. I was a high schooler and my teacher was the coxswain, which is the captain of my local RNLI, and I was a volunteer. And I've seen them go out in hell and high water and storms that no sane person would put a boat on the sea to go and pick up one person from a freaking dinghy in the middle of the ocean, risking their lives against all odds. And then you have an entire freaking massive white boat filled with crew in calm waters on a bright day, literally feet away from dying children doing absolutely feck all. That makes me so angry.
I know. It makes me so angry. It's really, really hard and difficult. And I love that BTS and other people have spoken out and that these asshole people are held accountable for what they've done, because it's disgusting.
It is disgusting. It's disgusting. I've never even heard of this. And it's made me so angry.
Yeah.
On their behalf.
Yeah, it is such a tragedy.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Presenti anche i nomi del regista del film Snowpiercer assieme a uno degli attori principali, e questo ci spiega ulteriormente il riferimento a questo film nel video di Spring Day. Quelle che vedete sono le immagini delle proteste che sono avvenute in questi mesi a Seul. Le luci rappresentano la speranza nel futuro della Corea. Tutto il paese, nonché vari artisti, hanno fortemente espresso la loro opposizione al governo. Nello show che state vedendo, i rapper, al posto di sfidarsi tra loro, hanno attaccato all'unisono l'amministrazione Park, ricordando fra l'altro la tragedia del Sewol.
나의 봄이 아직 시린 이유 떨어지는 꽃잎이 너무나 슬픈 이유 눈물에 젖은 꽃잎 우리의 봄 반성 없는 그들 미안 남은 우리의 몸 그날 이후
Le parole di questo pezzo non vi ricordano un po' il testo di Spring Day? Anche i BTS e la Big Hit non sono rimasti a guardare. Hanno segretamente donato 100 milioni di won, circa 80.000 euro, all'Organizzazione per la Verità e per una società più sicura, creata dalle famiglie coinvolte nel naufragio del Sewol. Nonostante la stampa non fosse stata informata, dopo il comeback la notizia è venuta a galla. La Big Hit ha confermato la donazione, aggiungendo solo che i ragazzi ritenevano la questione un affare personale. Alla conferenza stampa dopo l'uscita dell'album, Rapmaster ha dichiarato che con i 4 brani di You Never Walk Alone i BTS vogliono mostrare la speranza e la rinascita della gioventù che proviene dalla lotta e dalla disperazione.
우리들도 젊은 사람들도 그 한국 사회의 mi래를 생각하고 그 능력이 충분히 있다고 생각하고 앞으로 더 나은 우리 대한민국을 만들기 위해서 훨씬 그 노력을 할 수 있다고 생각을 합니다.
Ci sono molti simboli nei vestiti che indossano che rimandano a questi concetti. La tigre sulla maglia di V simboleggia la lotta, mentre l'ape, oltre ad essere un simbolo spesso associato alla rinascita come la farfalla e le fenici, è anche un simbolo di operosità e si presta bene a rappresentare i giovani coreani. Il fiore blu sul maglione di Jimin rappresenta la memoria e il ricordo, e poi
So much thought was put into that MV, like things that they would never imagine people would even pick up on, but yet took the time to sit and painstakingly put on. What amazes me is that somebody did take the time to pick that apart and make an explanation video. Like, the level of dedication that this must have taken, and research, and watching it 30,000 times to pick apart every single detail. Jesus, what job as a researcher? Like,
well, this is like one of the best explanation videos you're going to get, but there's also so much to this that if you watch other explanation videos, you get even more. Like, there's so much detail to this MV. Like, every single scene is thought out so incredibly. Like,
you
even
makes you wonder how long the director sat and painstakingly wrote out all of this and conferred and like ways to bring it in every possible way.
Yeah,
like they were loudly screaming the purpose of this without loudly screaming it.
Exactly. It's crazy. Even just this, the stairwell of having like the camera above Jin, where like it's almost like your loved one is above you and you're looking up at them, you know.
The way I saw that scene was as if Jim was standing in the midst of an empty place and his memories were playing out. That's why he was holding the camera.
The camera, yeah.
He was remembering. So they were just like a visualization of his memory.
Yeah.
And I was right according to this. So
good job.
Lovely. But yeah. Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
Ci sono le ali, l'aereo, le piume. Si tratta quindi di un messaggio di conforto e di speranza nella rinascita di un'intera generazione che lotta affinché gli errori, la negligenza e la corruzione della società non debbano più ricadere su di essa e su coloro che verranno. Sono infatti proprio i giovani che stanno più soffrendo e pagando a causa dell'organizzazione sociale coreana. Non a caso il tasso di suicidi fra gli studenti di questa nazione è fra i più alti al mondo. Alle domande riguardo i riferimenti alla tragedia nel video di Spring Day, Rapmaster ha risposto: siamo piuttosto cauti nel parlare del naufragio del Sewol, ma credo che in quanto cittadini dello Stato dovremmo sentirci responsabili. Abbiamo donato perché volevamo aiutare il progetto. Dopo quello che vi ho mostrato potete facilmente immaginare perché i ragazzi siano cauti, ma Rapmaster ha anche detto che i BTS non resteranno in silenzio riguardo alle ragionevoli questioni sociali e che contribuiranno a lottare contro questi problemi con la loro musica.
Yeah, I would love to see them try and blacklist BTS, like.
Exactly.
Good luck with that. Yeah, that was traumatic. This started off as a very nice song, Louise. And by the end of this, I'm kind of thinking I might need therapy.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting because this is the song that's the universal, like, well, in Korea, it's the universal BTS song that's identified with them most as being part of a productive contribution to society, Korean society. That's one of the reasons I love BTS is like sometimes it's difficult to listen or look at some of their content, but you can 100% see why they do that content. And they're like, they stand by what they believe in and they're like humble, kind, good people. And and that's why I love them, because they could have very easily just kept quiet about it and ignored everything and not said anything, but they didn't. Not only that, they donated as well, so they put their own personal money where their mouth is as well. So,
well, up until I knew the true meaning of this song, I was thinking it was a nice song, a little bit sad but nice, and now I'm done with that song. I'm sorry, BTS, but it's for the right reasons. That song now carries the pain and suffering of all those people who have had to live through the loss and the tragedy of that. And I could never listen to that song again. I'm too much of an empath that I carry those kind of things with me, and a wee reminder, like the song, would bring that entire video back to me and all those emotions you just put me through. And we both know I'm not one for all the softy feely stuff. So yeah, that's
you're very much like Jin. You're very much like Jin in that way. Like that would probably be a Jin reaction. Is like, you want the happiness and the silliness and the joy.
And just file it in. I've seen it. I've felt it. I'm very sorry and I'm very sad about it. But don't make me relive it, because that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
I think as well, because I could relate to it on a personal note, probably made it feel even more traumatic.
Yeah.
There was so many things in that mirrored the struggle that my family went through for like 5 years because of the death of my brother, which was not his fault. He went to work. He didn't come home. And it was caused by the negligence of the companies that were the two companies that were involved. So yeah, I think it was relatable, a little too
close to home.
Yeah, especially the court cases that we had to endure and the 5 years of no answers and people dodging blame, and like I really felt that on a personal level. So it's probably added to the reasons I don't ever want to listen to that song again because it carries a heck of a lot of weight now.
Yeah.
Although to BTS, I am very, very much impressed that they stood up and had a voice and used their influence for something good like that, even if they knew it was going to get them kind of like a slap back. But yeah, good job, guys.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, I'll never listen to it again.
You might be when we're in Korea, because it's going to be, it's an endemic part of Korea now,
Na 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 na. That's Lean's answer to anything she does not want to hear. The song varies, but it is.
Yeah, no, it is. It's a very difficult song, and everyone reacts to it differently. So there are many people that react to it the same way you do, where they just don't want to think about it or look at it, or and like for me, I listen to it. It's on my playlist, but like when I do listen to it, there are times I think about the tragedy, and there's other times where I try not to think about the tragedy if I'm having like a day where I don't feel like getting all those feels, so because I just cannot imagine what those families went through and those kids went through. It was unnecessary, put it that way.
Still going through. If I know anything about that kind of grief, when there's very different between someone dying from like illness or old age to someone who is literally ripped out of your life by an accident that was not even their fault, that they had no control over, is the grief. Like I've lost both. I've lost family from illness and natural causes, and then my brother who was ripped out of his life at the age of 37.
Yeah.
That grief is so different to the other grief.
Yeah.
Because you talk to your system and it's something you just can't absorb. You can't, like, there's no reason to, there's no, like, when someone's dying and they're sick or they're getting old, it's a natural thing. You kind of prepare yourself. You come to this feeling of, it's coming. But then when someone is taken from you in such a horrible, tragic way,
it
leaves an eternal wound that it's like you just can't ever find reasoning for it.
Yeah.
It's a very different thing. So I have no doubt that the families, even though it's been, 10 years, 8 years, they're still feeling that same pain. They've just learned to live with it.
Yeah, exactly. It is awfully, awfully painful. And thank you for, who's the Italian army that did this?
It was,
we'll do a link as well.
They called Italian Army.
Italian Army. Thank you for that. We appreciate it. We appreciate all the work you did on that. That
It was
explanation.
very enlightening and very traumatic.
It was, but yeah, and it has been a powerful punch in Korea. I think Spring Day, in a lot of ways, which is a good.
It's
thing.
infuriating. Like, I'm still angry even now. I'm not even Korean. Those weren't my people or my family, but I'm angry even now. What we just watched.
Yeah. It makes me super angry every time I think about it, because it was preventable. They just needed to get all the people up on deck, and they would have all been rescued. So
I think what makes it even, like, it shouldn't make it worse, but it somehow does, is the fact that they were kids.
Yeah.
The beginning of, like, their very
start of life.
Yeah, they're like, I'm just so mad.
Yeah.
Like, this is Lean mad, by the way. You can't tell. But trust me, Lean's real mad right now.
Yeah. We're going to have to take a breather after this video and a break. So
yeah,
we'll listen to some young tech.
And like,
we'll do some young tech after this.
Yeah. Like, I know it's been like years, but I'm mad on behalf of Korean people. I'm very mad. So
yeah.
We're going to end it there, Oda. Well, see, I should be saying, oh, that's a nice song I added in my playlist, but I'm saying it was a nice song till I knew the meaning, and now I'll never listen to it again. But, that's for my own mental health.
Yeah.
That's because it makes me so angry and so upset at the same time, and the trauma of those poor people. And it's just like, one thing, when we go to Korea, we do have to go and pay respects to the site where that happened, because that's clearly affected us on another level.
Yeah, I agree. We're definitely going to do that. And the next BTS song we'll listen to will be a little bit more upbeat. So you're not going to like, this is the tragic BTS song. So we'll listen to something else that's a little bit more get you dancing. So
I still never cried, Louise.
I saw a little bit of teary eyes there, but I'm just saying.
I was getting a little bit like, I usually do deer in the headlights when I start getting emotional. It's an instant feeling of panic of, how do I get out of here? Like, how do I run? What do I do? Do I turn it off? I get deer in the headlights and I'm not sure how to react. And I could feel that happening, like, do I get up and walk away? No, I'll just hold out. And then it passes eventually. But I did get that a couple of times where I was like, she's going to make me feel things.
Because you said, I was like, are you okay? Because I was seeing that weird look on your face. I was like, oh, she's either going to cry or do something.
Well, that's panic. That's me like thinking of an escape route. How do I get out of here? That's my defense mechanism kicking in before real emotions do.
Lean in a purple prison cube.
Yeah. Yeah, I was trapped. I was like, oh crap, what do I do? Okay, yeah. So that was Spring Day, never to be watched again under any circumstances by Lean. Never to be listened to again. I'm sorry, but it is just what it is. And leave us some suggestions that won't traumatize Lean for the rest of her life. Thank you very much, because Lou's clearly a sadist.
Also, let us know what you think in the comments about Spring Day and the tragedy and how it's affected you and changed you in some ways, and what you think of how BTS created the MV, and just give us a little bit of feedback as well and let us know what you thought.
Yeah, no, joking aside, that is probably going to haunt me for the rest of the day now. That's like,
yeah.
So yeah,
that's why I've been putting it off for so long.
I'd rather have a song stuck in my head than that stuck in my head for the next week, to be honest.
We'll listen to some good light-hearted songs now for the rest of the day. So
okay, we will catch you guys in the next one, and stay safe. Bye.
You did a good job, Leanie.
Please don't.
Hey, fan bears. So fluffy.
What
so
is
cute.
actually wrong
You ready?
with you? You're
Dance
such
it
a
dance.
freak.
Dance it dance. System failure.
Lean, 사랑해.
Ew.